Studio 31.
Live from News 9 WAOW, this is News 9 at 9 on the CW.
Heartbreak and hope as rescuers continue to search for survivors in the rubble of a condo building that partially collapsed. Tonight, the latest from Surfside, Florida. Plus, an area music festival is kicking off in Wood County, but they also have another reason to celebrate. We had there live with a look at the festivities.
News 9 WAOW, we've got you covered.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is heading to prison for the murder of George Floyd. A judge issuing his sentence after Chauvin's last-ditch effort for a new trial failed earlier in the day. ABC's Faith Abubey joins us from Minneapolis.
I do want to give my condolences to the Floyd family.
The day George Floyd's family has been waiting for.
As sentence for count 1, the court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months.
A moment of accountability. Exactly 13 months to the day a jury says former police officer Derek Chauvin murdered Floyd on the streets of Minneapolis. But a rare moment in court. Chauvin, now only one of 10 police officers in the country, sentenced to prison for murder on the job in the last 16 years. Before the sentencing, the judge determined there were aggravating factors in Floyd's murder, like acting with particular cruelty, Chauvin abusing his position of trust and authority, and the fact that Chauvin's deadly restraint on Floyd happened in front of children back in May of last year. Floyd's loved ones, emotional, seizing the moment, detailing a year of immeasurable grief.
It is humanly impossible for me to stand here and convey or articulate the right words that would capture all that we are feeling. You may see us cry, but the full extent of our pain and trauma will never be seen with the naked eye.
And this is far from over for Derek Chauvin. In fact, he is expected to appeal this case, and he's also facing federal civil rights charges along with the 3 other Minneapolis police officers charged in connection with George Floyd's death. Their trial begins early next year. In Minneapolis, Faith Abubey, ABC News.
Tonight, the search for survivors continues in South Florida. 4 are confirmed dead, and 159 others are still missing. Rescuers facing new hurdles as they scramble to find survivors. Rain and wind hampering the search and forced to douse fires sparked by several combustible materials in the debris. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis visiting the Reunification Center today, where family and friends of the missing are gathering and promised answers.
We need a definitive explanation for how this could have happened. And that's an explanation that needs to be an accurate explanation. You have families that lost loved ones in this building collapse. They have a right to know.
Crews will continue to search for survivors through the weekend. Right now, Vice President Kamala Harris is back in Washington, D.C., following her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border. During her trip, Harris toured a Customs and Border Patrol processing center and met with 5 young girls who had been held at one after crossing the border. She also spoke with agents.
This issue cannot be reduced to a political issue. We're talking about children, we're talking about families, we're talking about suffering, and our approach has to be thoughtful and effective.
Harris has faced months of criticism from members of both parties for declining to make the trip thus far in her explanations as to why. Well, Jeff, we made it to Friday. Stay dry for the most part, but that's about to change.
Yeah, we're going to change it up big time. In the meantime, it's just a little bit of cloud cover right now. We have an excessive rainfall threat. It's at marginal for most of us this evening, or excuse me, I'm sorry, for your Saturday. I would say a good reference point would be Portage, Wood County, and to the north, but really not beyond Marathon County. The Northwoods really not expecting excessive rainfall for Saturday. That's the marginal threat. You go further south and east, which would be part of Adams and Waushara County, it's even notched up higher to slight. Heavy downpours, you get the flooding potential, also ponding on the roadways, another potential issue. Here's a look at the cloud cover as far as what's happening around the state right now. There's a little bit of thunderstorm activity in the Fox Valley right now. Little is the key word. And opposite end of the state, it's pretty active southwest of La Crosse. It's more in the form of rain. There are some thunderstorms. It's not all that active. They're certainly not strong. It's a lot closer to where the low is. That's why that's happening there. On the Covantage Credit Union Cam, we've got 72 degrees in Wausau. The dew point, it's sticky. Winds are fairly light right now, east-northeast at 6 miles an hour. Pretty cloudy, Marshfield, 71. Very similar situation. The winds are light. We're going to make our way into the 60s. We're going to stay in the 60s tonight. It's not going to cool off a whole lot. It's going to be sticky. And we could see rain moving in for parts of the area as early as daybreak tomorrow. I'll show you when we expect the heaviest rainfall and how much we probably could see coming up in your main forecast.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, we here at News 9 want to take a moment to thank you for sticking with us on our coverage through the rise and fall of the Wausau Center Mall. It's been 40 years since Wausau city officials broke ground for the Sears building and what would later become the Wausau Center Mall. Now, 4 decades later, it's all coming down to pave the way for the Wausau Opportunity Zone.
I think there's optimism that the new development will bring more people downtown and hopefully create additional opportunities for the existing businesses.
If you want to catch up on all of our stories about the Wausau Mall, we've got a special page on our website so you can watch it all. Just head over to WAOW.com. More road woes in Wausau today. This was the scene outside the Marathon County Courthouse at North 6th and Forest Street. City officials had to close off the road due to an emergency water line repair. Traffic was impacted for most of the day while crews worked. Closer to home, a stabbing in Adams County that left 2 people injured. According to the Adams County Sheriff's Office, the call came in just before 8 this morning. They say it happened in the 1100 block of Fawn Court in Springville. Officials say the 2 who were stabbed knew each other and are being treated for their injuries. The investigation is ongoing. President Joe Biden signs a bill designating Florida's Pulse nightclub a national memorial. It was part of President's recognition of June as Pride Month. On June 12, 2016, Omar Mateen killed 49 people and injured over 50 when he opened fire at Pulse, a popular gay venue in Orlando. The club has been closed since. A memorial with a museum and education center is being constructed now on the site. Well, new at 9. Auburndale is back holding its annual music festival after COVID-19 shut it down and now has another reason to celebrate. News 9's Isak Dinesen is live in Auburndale with what's going on right now. Hey, Isaac.
Yeah, good evening, Kathryn. You can see and maybe even hear as well behind me. It's a lively environment out here in Auburndale. Lots of music throughout the evening, and I'm being told there will be fireworks later tonight. Now this whole celebration is part of Auburndale's 150th anniversary. For perspective, the state of Wisconsin has been around for 173 years. Now this event will last all weekend with softball and volleyball tournaments plus a parade Sunday morning. Now one man has lived in Auburndale all his life and is thankful to see the whole community back together again.
It's nice to have everybody back. The kids are playing ball here tonight, and the team's back playing ball, volleyball, it's all. And the people back working the stands are enjoying it.
Now he also says he's been to celebrations like these since they were just softball tournaments. Now coming up tonight at 10, I can't promise you I'll show you fireworks, but I will have more on what this event means to this community. Live in Auburndale, Isak Dinesen, News 9 WAOW.
All right, thanks, Isaac. Looks like a good time there. Well, if your kids play sports, you probably understand the fear of them getting a concussion, but repeated blows to the head, even without concussions, can still change the brain. Sports have already made moves to protect children as they play. For example, checking in hockey is banned for kids younger than 13, and flag football is an option without ending the play in a tackle. A former Mosinee athlete, now an assistant professor at UW-Madison, takes on myths of brain injuries in a new book.
We need sports. Sports have so many benefits for kids, and we want kids to play sports, but they just don't need to hit their head. So finding ways to remove those sources of repetitive brain trauma while keeping the great aspects of sports is so important.
Julie graduated from Mosinee High School in 2005. You can find Julie's book called The Brain on Youth Sports, The Science, the Myths, and the Future in a couple weeks, wherever books are sold. Still ahead, it's deer crossing season in the Badger State. A look at the strain they're having on area auto shops. Plus, an area man is honored for his service in the community. These stories and more when News 9 returns.
Covering, detailing, taking you inside the rise and fall of the Wausau Center Mall. I'm Melissa Langdon.
And I'm Phil Aldridge. Tonight, News 9 explains how it all started.
The mall was very important. It was a cultural center.
What went wrong?
A lot of changes took place at that time.
What's next for downtown Wausau and the biggest challenges still ahead.
Join us live from the Wausau Center Mall.
Tonight, only on News 9 at 5 and 6.
After 54 years and 257 days of working at Weinbrenner Shoe Company, Colette Jordan is retiring. Colette started in the sewing room at Weinbrenner right out of high school and has worked there since. She said she did not plan on staying this long, but it worked out well. Co-workers say it's a day of mixed emotions.
We're happy for Colette, but we're also sad that she's leaving because 55 years of work ethic. I mean, she brought a lot of knowledge, her energy, her knowledge brought a lot to the company. I mean, she made the company a better place to be.
Oh, well, when Colette started working at Weinbrenner in 1966, she says she made just $1.25 an hour, but it was piecework, meaning the more shoes that were made, the more money workers earned. Congratulations, Colette. The former CEO of Warzala was honored earlier today with a statue in his honor. Colleagues of Charles Nason and Warzala employees gathered to honor Nason for his years of service to the company and the community. He was presented with a statue at his honor in a surprise ceremony. The current CEO saying it was an honor to celebrate his predecessor.
We're celebrating the fact that he spent so many glorious years helping this company get to be where it is. But he was also, in addition to that, he was kind of the instigator behind the whole literacy movement in Stevens Point.
At the ceremony, colleagues shared fond memories and spoke to Nason's outstanding character. We're taking a live look outside now on this Friday evening, and a soggy weekend may be in store for us. Your forecast after the break.
Hi, I'm Eric Pease from the law office of Bartels and Pease in Wausau. We are proud to sponsor closed captioning on News 9 WAOW.
Now, your Storm Track 9 weather.
Well, Jeff, it looks like we're going to have to pull out the rain jackets for this weekend. More rain in store for us.
Absolutely. We've certainly turned things around from the drought-like conditions we've had as far as the rainfall amounts. We've had quite a bit over the last week or so, relatively speaking, and we have an excessive rainfall threat for your Saturday. Marginal, that is most of the area. Now, the Northwood's not really included in that. Not saying there isn't going to be a decent amount of rain. There's a difference between decent and excessive. All right, this would be the line here. Portage, Wood County, Marathon County, and north a bit. And then the Northwood's really not expecting excessive amounts. And then you go further south in the east, which would include Waushara, Adams County. These lines aren't hard and fast. You get the general idea. Got the potential for the heavy rainfall tomorrow, flooding on the roadways, the ponding, flooding in general, really. Our severe weather threat, fortunately for tomorrow, is low. It's marginal as you go to our far southern counties. Outside of that, pretty negligible, just general possibilities of thunderstorms. Gusty winds and hail could go with the marginal threat area. That is on our upside for your Saturday at least. Made it up to 81 today. Pretty close to what we'd expect this time of year. Started out at 66 degrees this morning. The highs elsewhere, it was mainly upper 70s, low 80s for the most part. Warmer temperatures to the north, the Northwoods today. They had more sunshine today. Much more comfortable conditions as far as the humidity. Wisconsin Rapids, 79 for the high today. Our current temperatures, upper 60s, low 70s right now. It's actually pretty nice. The winds are light. A little on the sticky side. Periods of heavy rain on your Saturday could get started fairly early in the morning. Cooler high temperatures this weekend as well. Rain chances next week to some extent every day, and our temperatures about normal for this time of year as we're getting close to the start of July. Cloudy tonight. It should be dry for the most part. Tomorrow morning already, here's the 6 a.m. hour. Could be a wave of showers to wake you up in the morning. And then things start picking up as we get later on in the morning hours as well. Middle part of the day could be moderate to heavy rainfall at times as well. It's going to kind of spread its way further north. I wouldn't even necessarily say scattered. It could be a little more widespread than that as we get into the afternoon and in the evening hours before this low starts to cycle out here. This is later on Saturday night. The low moves off to the north and the east and takes most of the rainfall with it. Probably some lingering showers far north later on Sunday morning. By the afternoon hours, could see a decent amount of sunshine on your Sunday, a lot more than what we're expecting on your Saturday. The rain chances, they're highest, 80% on your Saturday. Then it's fairly low from there, but still the possibility of rain every day really through the stretch. Rainfall amounts at this point, the further you go north, the less rainfall likely. Wausau, half-inch range, maybe a little less than that, and more as you go further to the south. Our temperatures actually about normal for this time of year. Outside of that 72 we're likely to see for tomorrow. 62 on the overnight tonight on the sticky side. We're not going to warm up too fast tomorrow, up into the low 70s in the afternoon with fairly widespread rain as we get into the afternoon hours. About 72 likely for your high for tomorrow. Sunday, chance of showers, thunderstorms. It's fairly low, high of 77. Monday, high of 78 with a slight chance of showers, and chance of showers again on Tuesday.
One area city is leaving its mark on history, preserving the past for future generations. News 9's Brittany Slaughter has the story.
A historic week in Stevens Point as Clark Street through Main Street is added to the National Park Service and National Register for Historic Places.
Everybody that lives here has some connection to the past, and being able to have others recognize the historic significance of not only our downtown, but this new area of architecture is pretty significant.
The Stevens Point mayor saying he's excited to preserve history in his town.
And when you walk through the halls of those historic homes or those historic buildings, one can't help but imagine all of the things that those walls must have heard.
The downtown area has been designated a historic area already, and an area business owner says she appreciates the significance.
I think it's so great to be a part of something bigger than just maybe a space that you're selling product in, that there's a lot of history down here and there's so many cool things to see.
She added that it's special having a shop in an older building so she can help preserve its place in history.
I think that just being part of that history is cool, and then adding to it, even though probably 100 years ago people had no idea that today maybe Real Deals that sells home decor would be in a space that they built 100 years ago for something totally different.
Around 80 homes were added with this week's designation, and Wiesa says he hopes other areas can be added in the future. Reporting in Stevens Point, Brittany Slaughter, News 9 WAOW.
Instances of cars hitting deer are rapidly rising, and if it happens to you, you may have to wait to get your car repaired. Workers at Abra Auto Body Shop in Wausau say the pandemic caused a shortage in auto parts. There are now waiting lists for a lot of different parts that are needed together. So this means cars will sit a little longer, and you may have to wait longer to get your car back.
If you get a smaller deer head or something like that, and you need like 5 parts, we usually get them 2 to 3 days. Now it could be 2 to 3 weeks.
Officials say if you see a deer close to you, try to slow down and don't swerve. If you hit a deer, you should just pull over, call 911, and then a towing service. And take a look at this wild video from a Walmart in Baraboo showing an employee tackling a deer that got into the store. The video shows an employee on top of the deer to keep it from moving throughout the store. The witness says the deer got into the store somewhere in the back of the building. Managers at Walmart declined to comment on the incident. Well, if you've always wanted to try to deer hunt but aren't sure about your skills, the state DNR has a course for you. It combines classroom and hands-on lessons, and the youth program is for children ages 12 to 15. That will be August 18th, 20th, and 21st. The adult beginner program is for anyone older than 16. That one will be on August 21st. The program wraps with a hunt November 6th at Sandhill Wildlife Area in Wood County. Cost for either program is $40, and the deadline to register is July 15th. You can do so online at dnr.wisconsin.gov. Still to come, Sports Director Alex Stewart is keeping a close eye on the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 2 against the Hawks. Plus, Sion area business is making us Cheeseheads proud. You're watching News 9 at 9.
Check out Storm Track 9's Justin Lowe in the mornings on 1390 AM and 93.9 FM, WRIG, Fox Sports Radio. Now, your News 9 Sports.
Normally, I'd ask why you're watching me when the Bucks are playing in Game 2 of the Eastern Finals, but tonight, it actually makes a lot of sense. Despite this game being figuratively over, though, I don't think the powers that be would excuse the fact it's not literally over, so I still can't show you the highlights. But yeah, this one was about wrapped up at the half. Milwaukee led by 32 after 24 minutes. That's the biggest lead any team has had in this postseason. Bucks really blowing it open now, as it looks like this series is going to be 1-1. And boy, there was no way traffic in Milwaukee was fun this afternoon, because the Brewers were also playing today. They took on the Rockies. Crew fell behind by 4, and while he's no Enrique Iglesias, he can still be your hero, baby. Keston Hiura is back from the minors, and he's taking names. He starts the Crew's comeback in the 7th, and he completes it in the 11th. Now, I'm sure there's probably a convenience store joke somewhere in there, but I'll just let you find it. Keston Hiura and the Brewers win 5-4 in extras.
All right, thanks, Alex. Well, finally tonight, a Waupaca County cheesemaker sets a new record, and it's a long one.
All right, guys, we are still out here. We've got maybe 750 more feet to go.
Wow, that's impressive. Check out this nearly 4,000-foot-long piece of string cheese. It was crafted at Waiawega Star Dairy on Thursday by Gerard Knaus. He says it took about 5 hours to make the 450-pound string and about 700 people to display it. But the best part, Gerard says his 85-year-old father was there to help make it. Pretty cool. Well, Jeff, how about a final look at our forecast before we go?
I want to hear who's going to eat it all. Are they just going to let it
I'll help.
go to waste and get stale, huh? All right, tonight, fairly quiet, uneventful. We all should be out on the water. Tomorrow, probably not the best day to be on the water. Depends, though, really, as we're expecting a rainy day, but a quiet night tonight for the most part. On the sticky side, but look at that, only 72 for our high tomorrow. The rain chances at 80%, so pretty widespread tomorrow. We're going to call that somewhat of a washout. A little better with some sun and warmer on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Jeff, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you for News 9 at 10 over on ABC. Have a great weekend.